Good afternoon. Here's our second video. I'm going to do some different videos for different platforms. This just happens to be a second one on LinkedIn. And the goal on LinkedIn is to share our experience as we're growing as a company and engage people in some dialogue and get some feedback from other professionals where you can help us as we grow, and maybe there's some stories we can share that you're going through and have experienced, or we can share stories of our trades, etc. And again, I'll be doing my vendor of the month next week, and probably do a little video to support the great stories of them as I also do an employee of the month. We talked about the construction team on my last video, but long story short, this video is really a little bit of exposure. I thought I'd come back and do it quickly to some of the real live dialogue that we're having as a growing organization and a changing one now. And we just got into this great philosophical debate today that came actually out of problem solving. We were dealing with the home and how we've failed a little bit on the after sales service side, and how to correct that example, but more importantly, all the things that caused it in the first place. And boy, it was like an onion, man. We just kept pulling back layers and layers. And this wasn't the senior management team only. This was, Sean, the owner, myself as the president, our leadership on construction and project management, and then client services and decor and client services. And so we had a nice cross section of amazing feedback in the room. And it kind of inspired me to come back and share this video and quite frankly, ask you for some feedback. Or give you a platform to share your story. So I'll get right to it. One of the things, again, we were talking about functional things and taking care of this home and how to do it right where we've dropped the ball. And then we were talking about, man, how did we get here and how do we avoid this happening in the future? And then, oh my God, where does that happen? Where does that flow up in the context of our strategic plan? And then we had the CEO, Sean, did an amazing job that I thought, and he just kind of said, guys, talk to me. What's going on? I really want to hear your opinion. And I thought, wow, it's a big game changer, because I know there's a lot of people in this room that have a lot to say, and we haven't created the environment as a company to do it, and we did. And there was some passionate pleas. I did my part where I always seem to step on my soapbox and give my 2 cents, and I'm happy doing that when I really believe in what I'm talking about. But some of the leaders in the room really took a risk and shared their thoughts, and I thought it was extremely valuable. And it brought us back to a place where I thought, hey, I'm gonna share a video, because I think there's a teachable point of view here, and more importantly, again, boy, we can extend this dialogue to our professional partners through our LinkedIn network and get their feedback. Because I could not be more sincere that I have been blessed to work with a ton of great people here, and I want to do right by them. And if I don't do right by them, I don't do right by our customer. And so it all comes together. So I thought, you know what, let's share and let's see if we can get some feedback and see if any professionals we work with have an opinion that we could add to our internal dialogue that have already gone through this and continue that growth. I have my experience from other organizations, but I want to take from those, but the story can't always be about what we did well here and what we didn't do well here. It needs to be about us and accelerating that learning and going through it. And yes, that's going to be from some of my personal experiences and the experiences of others. That's kind of why they hired me. But it also can be about our peers and partners helping each other, whether this feedback helps you or you want to add to the dialogue and share your story, or make it safe and not share your story specifically, but a recommendation. So it kind of came down to 5 things through this, really cool emotional conversation in the room where I just thought we had some growth philosophically, from a trust perspective, and then from a functional perspective. And so it came down to 5 quick things. One is, we got to hire and retain the best. And I don't think that's rocket science. I think you've seen that in a bunch of videos. But that's where all great companies start. And where I've seen companies grow and have been a part of the success and a part of the failure, quite transparently in my past, is how it gets away from you as you grow. And so I see this great opportunity for us as we're taking our next step to learn from that and start to project those problems now. Gone through them, seen how we overcame them, how do we avoid them? Because we know they're going to come as we grow. We just don't know it today. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about was sharing that. And so the next thing, that really came out of it was, so I talked about hiring and retaining the right people, listening to the people who take care of your people. a lot of organizations either don't do that so they can't grow. So, in our instance, the construction guy's saying, I can't build that house anymore in that amount of time. I can't hit your quality standards with the complexity of the product in the timelines you have, and I need more time. Or, hey, when I'm on site, the customer always complains that we use this material. Or, hey, Mark, the trades are getting upset because we do this in our phase of construction, and when they come into the home, they can't deliver the quality they want, or they don't have enough time, or the site's not prepared, or all those things. That feedback is there, and I would argue that our guys know it. Where we fall apart is we don't open up the channels for that feedback, or we don't listen to it anymore. And as you grow, it becomes more and more tempting to say, I already got that and I built my process. My process works. It's always worked. And when your construction team or your production team or your customer says, or your after sales service department says, this is broken, and you say, no, I disagree. So we got to create an avenue that listens to the people who take care of our people. And that's each other, the trades, the customer. The minute Sean and I shut that off, we have failed this organization. And if we don't have it opened up enough now, we need to do that. A good trick to do that, and where I'm looking for feedback, is to ensure that committees are in place, avenues for feedback are in place, and the leadership team is holding themselves accountable to feeding back that they've heard it, and here's the reaction, and here's the empowerment. Also, where the difficulty comes as a senior leader is you've been there yourself and you've seen it, and what the team telling you makes you feel like it's not going to work, or you can't trust the feedback, you can't quantify it. And so you got to put mechanisms in place that say, hold on, here's the data. 80% of our customers say it's taken us too long to get to our 30-day items. We got to trust now this process change has to happen. Or 90% of our customers are saying, this is driving me nuts that you're using this material to live and it doesn't work. Or 85% of your construction staff is saying, you're not giving me enough time to build these homes. What I think doesn't matter anymore. And for a leader to get over that is so hard when they know they've built similar patterns in other organizations. And sometimes, yes, the leader has to disagree with the feedback of the team, but boy, you better only call that out once in a while, and you better have your own data that overcomes the data of 90% of your customers and your employees. So we are trying to get ahead of that. And this came up in the conversation because we realized that's part of the problem. We weren't listening to our people, and lo and behold, we failed a customer. How do we fix it now? And then, snapshot, it's going to come up as we grow, and it's going to become even more tempting not to fix the problem, because we're going to be more tempted not to impact the P&L, more tempted not to impact our processes, and more tendency to think we're right because we grew the company. And so we got to put mechanisms in place now so we don't get to that temptation. And then we give them the tools to succeed. So again, your job is hire the right people, listen to what they have to say, trust the volume of feedback, and now get the objections out of their way. Shut up, listen, get out of the way. Let me say that again for dramatic effect. Shut up, listen, get out of the way. If you do the top three, you got the right people, you're listening to what the customer's telling them and listening to their feedback. You're giving them the tools to succeed. Let them go do it. Shut up, listen for the result, get out of the way, let them do their job. And then last, now it's time to speak, recognize, and repeat. So get back out in front of it and say, man, am I glad I listened to you guys. Thank you for being insistent on what we needed to do. Thank you for showing me the data to make it safe that 90% of you, our partners and our customers, were telling us to do it. Let's go do it again. Rinse, repeat. I'm worried as first-time president of a company after being VPs of departments, directors, and doing all that stuff, that I'm going to start to believe in myself a little too much. Kind of story of my life that I've kind of always believed in myself. But we're at a much higher level of risk now. And we need to create the avenue to validate and give a stream for the proper feedback to come through so we can flex with our people and our customers and grow the right way. Anyways, thought I'd share. Here's my question for you. Have you encountered it? How did you overcome it? from multiple levels. If you are brand new in an organization in a growing exposure and you know, doing more functional things right now, what's your frustration that you're bringing up that you can't get through? Be careful, because there's people on LinkedIn who may take it the wrong way. So be smart about your feedback. If you're really comfortable and you've gone through it and you want to admit your weaknesses and how you solve them, that would be extremely great feedback. But I'd love to find out how you get the feedback from the front line all the way through to the executive team, into the strategic plan, back out through the P&L, and back out into the marketplace. Love to hear it, because like I said in that meeting today, at the end of the day, it sounds corny, it sounds silly, it all comes down to people. Whether you listen to them, whether you have the right people, and whether you're reacting to the feedback, and whether you trust them. Anyways, LinkedIn post number 2. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, we'll keep these ones professional. You might see some of my posts in other sites now. I've promised to stay close to the customer and my partners. So, you know, the Instagram and Twitter ones, Facebook might look a little different. Sean has just released the passwords to me, so he's letting me play a little more. And they may be a little bit more about, you know, specific to value for home buyers. These are just more professional ones as we grow as an organization and be transparent to our partners, and get feedback from you. And maybe we can share some with you as well. Anyways, that is an 11-minute video. If you watched the entire 11 minutes, I would like to know, because I maybe want to send you one of those new cool little LinkedIn certificates that say, thank you for being a good listener. Okay, I might be being sarcastic. All the best. Hey, listen, to our partners, thank you. Appreciate it. To our future partners, we're not even working together, but we will one day. I appreciate it. I appreciate you listening. To our team, love you guys. You know it. You can hold me accountable to this stuff. It's on video now. I gotta deliver it to you. To our customers who we have succeeded with and failed with in the past, thank you for your patience, and thank you for your support. We're happy you're happy. And if you're not happy, please bear with us as we make those changes to make as many of you happy as possible. Thanks. It's been a great day at Dunsire. All the best.